Well, the markets are coming off the biggest 2 days of losses since February. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost nearly 546 points yesterday, a 2.1% drop on top of an 831-point plunge on Wednesday. The S&P 500 was also down 2.1% yesterday. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with what's behind the sell-off. Jill, can we expect another sell-off this morning?
It looks like the futures markets are actually pointing higher, but a lot of this selling has to do with something very peculiar. It's actually the strength of the economy. As the U.S. economy has strengthened, the Federal Reserve has increased short-term interest rates. Now longer-term interest rates are rising as well, and there is some fear among investors that rise in interest rates could choke off the big expansion that's going on, 3% this year. And also, it makes bonds very appealing. So if you made a bunch of money in big tech stocks, you can now sell some of that, move into a 10-year treasury and earn 3.1, 3.2%. Not a bad place to hide.
Of course, the Fed always wants to stave off inflation, right? Yet the president seemed to lash out at the Fed, calling Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell loco. How unusual is that?
Well, calling him loco is definitely unusual. The thing that's very interesting is Powell, of course, is the president's choice to lead the Fed. And the Fed's got a big job ahead of it. It's trying to say we've got to stay ahead of inflation before it starts to bubble up. And we also have to foster an economy that creates lots of jobs. Well, the job situation is fantastic. We found out that last month the unemployment rate dropped to a 49-year low. And we are seeing some signs of a little bit of price pressure, not too much, though.
And the Fed has said they're going to keep raising rates because they expect things to keep going well from now until 2020, which happens to be an election year.
Right. And so let's be very clear that the strength of the economy right now is something that we're going to be looking at going forward. But it's also going to be very important. We've got earnings season coming up. We'll find out from companies how they think they're going to do going forward, and also how trade policy might be impacting them, because now we're starting to feel the impact of the tariffs in certain industries.
All right. The opening bell is just a few hours away. We'll be watching. Thank you, Jill.
Sure.